Okay, but you do Notepad, right?
Yeah. Or I'm sure for you it's
Am I an
like
orbiter?
Notepad plus plus, or you've got some sophisticated IDE that you use because you're a master programmer or whatever. But you know, I'm just the old school Notepad guy. You know.
Yeah, you sent me. I like stream of consciousness notepads.
Mm-hmm.
Um, oh yeah, it reminds me of when I tried to go to college briefly, and which was very disappointing because I had been raised in a world where like learning was actually taken seriously. And then I went to some art class, which I did not get along well with. And then they told us you had to build like a universe for an alien species and then design the like what kind of house would they live in. And then I went into it in the same way that you're sort of talking about, like, well, let's actually logically follow through exactly what it was. But there were so many questions about the perimeters, and I kept asking my teacher, like, what perimeters am I allowed to do this? I don't know. It was like because his assignment was really vague, and they didn't shit. I was really taking the project seriously, and they were just like pump out something that just technically completes the requirements and move on.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not. I had never like met an adult that was like didn't care about teaching before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's especially sad when you go to art school. And maybe everybody's experience wasn't like mine, but like I went to school for music because I love music. I have a very emotional connection to it. It's very fun for me. And then when you go there and it feels instead like you're just kind of like in a club, you almost feel like a loser. Like I felt like a nerd because a bunch of these people feel like they're just here for a club. One of the most autistic fucking moments of my life. Oh my god. So as part of every music degree, probably in any school you ever, you should have some kind of piano proficiency class where you just have to be able to like play like the scales or whatever. Like you should be able to do that. And so we're taking our piano proficiency class, and our teacher is like, okay, for our final, it was either the semester final or the final. He's like, I want you to choose a piano piece that is challenging for you, and I want you to be able to play it for the class. And I was like, oh, cool, that's awesome. There's like a piece that I'd been kind of like working on and off for a while. Even though I can't really play piano, it was just one from a fucking video game. So there's this video game arrangement of a song for a Final Fantasy VII song, and it's like this 6 minute. Do you play Final Fantasy VII?
I never played the game. I played a lot of piano from Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
Do you know the Genova theme?
Uh,
It's like
the really, yeah,
that thing or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I never learned how to play that one, but yeah.
okay. There's an arrangement for it called Genova for classical piano, and it's got all these fucking arpeggios and everything. I went so tryhard. I spent so much time learning this piece, and I felt like such an autistic fucking loser because I was like halfway in the slots of like who was going, and all of the pieces before me were like it was like everybody's piece was like that, and I was like, oh my god, everybody's gonna think I'm such a fucking loser, and I felt really awkward. Holy shit. Oh my god, it was so awkward. I played it perfectly, and I don't know if I felt bad for the people going after me or if I felt more autistic, but holy shit, it was so fucking awkward. But yeah, fuck school. Yeah, it feels like the people, I mean, there are really, really good schools. I get really excited when I hear about like Berkeley School of Music. That place sounds amazing. Like you've got college sophomores there that are better than some like professional like band people. There's so much talent in that school. And I'm sure if you go to certain schools, it's like that, but damn.
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that. From what I remember, Genova was hard. I'm not sure if I'm getting it mixed up with another one.
Genova was what?
I'm slightly excited that you play Final Fantasy VII soundtrack. My last big performance I did was One Winged Angel on the piano.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's really cool. What did you where do you get the arrangements from?
The internet. And this was long ago,
This was what?
14. It's 14 when I did it.
Oh.
So that was my peak.
Gotcha, damn. And then you bitched out and you started playing weird instruments like the accordion and the bagpipes.
I mean, if you know piano, you might as well like use
Play other
it for
keyboard.
some comparative advantage.
Sure. That's
Kind
cool.
of remind me of I when I quit camming for the first time because I was burned out. I went into work at a crypto startup, and then we were going to a crypto conference in 2015. And I was like, okay, I need to learn everything about crypto. Like I'm going to a conference with people who work in this. So I spent like weeks studying like cryptography and the way different like crypto coins functioned and like what like kind of equations use, right? I was like, this is the thing that I need to know. And then I went to the conference, and it was literally I didn't hear a single word about anything that I studied.
Mm-hmm.
It was just people in suits being like, "Can you make a coin go up?"
Yeah.
It was
My
like hot girls in bikinis being like, our coin to the moon, shaking signs.
Of all the people that do crypto, I think like less than 15% could even explain what the blockchain is. Like unironically, of the people that are even in it, that like buy and sell and shit, I think less than 50% could even explain that. People have no, and like less than like 10% could actually tell you like what is an actual NFT. Like, you have any idea? Yeah, I think people just don't. Yeah, people don't have like a curiosity, especially around crypto. They just want to buy and sell and get rich. They don't actually give a fuck about the underlying technology or anything.
And I mean, I think I'm shocked when you say that, but when I think about it, maybe it's true. Are you in crypto?
Fuck no.
Okay.
Why? Do you feel like crypto's
Do you
the
have any
future? Are you
questions?
one of those fucking abolish the Fed nerds or something?
I mean, I'm pretty like libertarian-esque in that direction-ish.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. Like gold standard libertarian Oscar.
I don't know. I'm not that educated. Uh, but like, well, to be fair, I did. So I've been like vaguely libertarianish for my whole life, and then recently I went to my first libertarian meetup. Like I was asked to talk. Was I telling you this? I was telling somebody this.
Nope.
I went to my first libertarian meetup, and then I was quite disappointed. Like I realized that the thing that a lot of the libertarians there were doing was like very different than the way that I thought about the world. Like it's sort
What do
of
you mean by
like
that?
the ends are predetermined, and we like post rationalize all of the other reasoning in order to get there. Vibe.
Yeah. I'm gonna be really, yeah, I had a really sad feeling, I think a month or two ago, where I started to feel like that might be literally everything in life. It's just like all post hoc, and some of us are just really good at bullshitting ourselves that it's
Oh
not.
yeah.
But I try not to think about that one too much.
Do you like physically fighting people?
Yeah, what? No, what the fuck? I'm like 5'8". I would get killed. I'm not a fighter, okay? I'm a Glock haver, okay? I'm not out here looking to fucking box somebody. Why are you? Do you like fighting people?
I
Wait, did you
mean,
mean when
no,
you
I
said
don't.
fighting? I'm sorry. Did you mean physically fight, or did you mean like arguing with
Yeah,
people?
I did mean physically fighting.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, no, I don't like to physically fight people. No.
There was just something about like your energy while you were talking that made me imagine you like punching someone in the face a little bit, but like for
Oh,
fun, not like a hatred thing, but just a joy.
just for fun. I mean, like I think I'm like an energetic, dynamic person. I don't think I'd like hit somebody though. I guess.
Yeah, but like fun fighting. I don't know.
What is fun fighting?
Phew. Boxing,
Okay. Maybe.
jujitsu. People do this.
Maybe someday in the future. Okay. Do you ever do any combat? How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Do you ever do any combat stuff, or do you ever play volleyball or basketball or?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm below that.
Like, metaphysically, or like, just you're not tall enough. What did you mean by below that?
I'm not good enough for it,
Okay, gotcha.
like in a spiritual sense.
Okay.
I really hate it. There's something about there's something about like the smell of rock climbing gyms and like the places where you go to go fight people that make me feel bad.
Wait, hello?
You had the fight energy again.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Every now and then your mic just like blips, and I lose like what you're
I'm,
saying for a word. I've asked you to repeat yourself a few times because it keeps happening. But
I'm sorry.
are you sorry?
I'm
Because you
like
still have
trying to
the
see if I
same
can change the.
microphone.
I'm gonna try changing the. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Am I
you.
gone? And is it still happening?
Well, now it's not, but now you're getting my hopes up.
Should I stay leaning forward? Does that help?
I don't know. This is a little bit provocative, but okay.
Is
Um,
it?
no, you're fine. Um, okay. Well, I'll tell you if it happens again. Well, you don't have to. Okay, whatever you did before is fine. Lean back. You don't have to be fucking on the edge of your seat for the conversation. Jesus.
Does it make things more intense? Maybe
No,
it'll
it
change the
looks like
energy.
really uncomfortable.
Oh,
Is
does
this
it
a
make you
comfortable?
uncomfortable?
No, it looks like it's physically uncomfortable for you. Like, I don't think I would enjoy sitting like this and having a conversation. I think this would make me uncomfortable after a while.
Okay.
Does it not make you uncomfortable?
I'm not currently uncomfortable.
Okay, then talk like that if it works for you.
Hey, am I an orbiter?
I don't, not yet. I don't think so.
Is it good to be an orbiter?
Well, it depends on who you're talking to. Oh, if you want to be an orbiter, Max will contact you pretty soon for his article he's working on. So it's always
He
that.
already did.
Wait, For his article?
I don't know as far as article, but he sent me like a message about you and I didn't respond.
Of course he did. Okay. Well, never mind then. Well, then you've already gotten all the orbiter benefits, so yeah, nice job.
Yeah. Cool.
Very cool.
I feel so weird right now, man.
What if you got... Wait, how long ago did you take your Adderall?
I took it like 6 hours ago, but it
Oh.
was a long, extended one. I'm supposed to go on a date tonight with
Mm-hmm.
a guy that I don't know at all.
Exciting. How do you meet him?
I met him at Quillette. There's a party, Quillette. You know the news
I have
people?
absolutely no idea, but I'm gonna assume it's hip and cool.
Yeah. And I was pretty drunk, and then he asked me out. I was like, okay. I haven't. Last time I got on a date was like 9 months ago.
Jesus. Does that include like going out with partners or just...
No, does not include going out with partners. Like a first date.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I just see the thing is like I want to find a husband kind of creature, but I uh don't like talking to people. How did you and Melina get together?
She messaged me on Instagram and I was like, okay.
And then you met up?
Yeah, and I was like, you're young and nubile and Swedish. I'm like, yeah, why not? We've talked about this a little bit before, but there's like a part of a person, the like chemistry that I have with a person is very, very, very important to me. It's very hard to find somebody that I can tolerate for, honestly, for relationships. The cutoff for me is about a year. I start to get really bored. I don't want to be like physically close to the person. I kind of get bored like talking to them. I don't really want to do anything with them. It's not exciting. And for Melina, that feeling set in about 3 years ago. No, I'm just kidding. For Melina, we started talking on Instagram for a little bit, and then there was like a thing that popped up in my life where I was just fucking done with California for a while, and I got sponsored to go on a trip to like test some streaming bullshit, and I was like, oh, okay, fuck it. And I flew to New Zealand. We hung out for like a couple weeks. We got along really well, and then our relationship just kind of like pushed on from there. And 4 years later, we still like super love each other. I like still am excited to go out with her and do things. Like I like being next to her and everything. Like I still have like all the initial like lovey feelings or whatever. It didn't just like fade away. So I figure if it's been 4 years, then that's probably the best I'm gonna do, or I'll just be single forever and do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. What were the so you obviously like said yes to somebody that probably you could have like pursued a lot of different people, but I'm assuming that there's some indications really early on that there would be some sort of compatibility. Like how did you know to pick her, like to go visit?
She was hot. The initial thing was just for sex. Like I wasn't thinking, I'm not looking for somebody to like date. I just
Like
want
an
to
accident.
yeah, for sure. Because like hooking up with people and everything's obviously fun and all. If I'm like traveling and I'm doing whatever, yeah, sure, of course. I'll fly to go fuck some hot fucking 20-year-old Swedish girl, of course, why not? But then we super clicked a lot after that in ways that I wasn't expecting. So yeah, it's the boundary for, this is probably true for men in general. The boundary for sex is a lot lower than like the boundary for relationships. So there's like a decent number of people I'd fuck that I probably wouldn't date. But if I do fuck somebody and then we end up getting along like really, really well, then hopefully like a long-term friendship develops. But those get like really unstable for people for I think reasons we've discussed. Yeah. Do you have like rules in place for when you engage with people to like try to find a husband? Like, is that something that your current dating strategy is like selecting for, or are you just hoping you kind of bump into them and you're not like deliberately choosing?
I don't know. I think whatever strategy I'm doing is not working. Like I want like a husband to fall in my lap, but I'm like not really doing anything. Like I'm going on a date with this guy and I'm sure he's lovely. Maybe it'll go great. I don't know. But
Mhm.
like, I told him when he asked me out, I said like base rate chance of I'll want to go to a second date with you is 5%. He
Okay.
was like, sure.
Mega autistic. All right. I like it. Nice job.
I just want him to know to like properly expect things.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and but this is the thing. I'm like, it's just like I don't like going on dates. But like you probably have to force yourself to go engage with other people in order to have like a shot of maybe liking one of them.
I think you have to or modify the statement. When you say I don't like going on dates, I think what you really mean is you find the vast majority of people boring, and statistically
Yes.
speaking, a date is going to be a bad. Yeah, I understand what you mean there
Yeah.
for sure.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, and it's excruciatingly like socially paralyzing to commit to some number of hours with somebody when you don't know if it's going to be boring as fuck or not. Because holy shit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm yeah. I'm so easily bored. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm feeling that pressure again to be entertaining
I know. That's why I didn't say anything. I just wanted you to sit with the awkwardness and
to see how long I can make it.
just be a
Are you
normal,
coming?
be a normal human. You know, just deal with it.
Oh. What if that worked? What if you're like being a normal human? I was like,
And it just may be, yeah.
I could like turn on like the cam girl persona.
Do you have a cam girl persona?
Yeah, you think this kind of face and talking makes money? It does not.
I had no idea because you could be like quirky, you know. Like there's going to be a niche for girls that are far outside of the norm that will make some money. I don't know if it'd be as much as like the cam girl persona, but the idea
Yeah,
of
but
you
if you're
like
money hungry,
you're money hungry. Oh, well, I don't know. Will be more
if you're
successful.
money hungry, then
I don't know the ins and outs of camming. My bad. Okay, I'm just a streamer.
yeah. Did you have any psychological effects that like shifted the way that you socialized after you became more well known?
Um, no, I think I have a really lucky path through life where like everything kind of just like perfectly like situated me or I'm really well built for this job. My life kind of prepared me for it in just like kind of weird ways. Like I grew up like very independent and everything, so I don't deal like poorly with internet hate as much as other people do. Like I grew up like very geeky and playing games all the time for a lot of hours, so I can like sit at the computer, et cetera, et cetera. So thankfully, I didn't have to change much of who I was or my style for streaming. Thank God. Because like every like for Melina knows like every single person that we talk to that does like streaming and has done streaming for a long time, every single streamer that you guys know fucking hates streaming. All of them hate it. All of them are like, God, it's so horrible. I hate turning on streaming, blah 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 blah. But I still love it. I super love it. Every day I love it. It's fun waking up and doing it. Like I do it as much as I can. Yeah. But yeah, I think if I had to make significant changes to who I was to stream, I don't think I would enjoy it as much.
Uh, I think I was trying to. It's interesting to know. I think I was trying to ask something else though. Um, like I remember when I first started getting well known,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I noticed that people looked at me more at social events.
Mm-hmm.
I would like be standing in a group of people, and then people would physically orient their bodies to point towards me more so than they had before.
Okay.
And when I talked, they paid more attention to the things that I said, and they were more likely to ask me questions. This is like an example of like the kind of social shift that I noticed. And I'm wondering, like, I think this is the kind of thing I'm asking. Like, is there anything similar to that that happened for you?
Um, I mean, I've always been a social person, so I'm used to being able to communicate with people pretty well. But I wasn't used to like strangers on the street like asking me for pictures and stuff. Like that never happened when I cleaned carpets, or anything like that. Yeah, there's. So I mean, like that's definitely changed, but um, yeah, I mean, I definitely get more attention, but yeah, I've always been like really social. So even when I worked like in a casino job, like a lot of people would come up to me and chat and we joke and all that stuff. It's not like I was like a really shy, reclusive person, and now I'm like, oh my god, like people want to talk to me, like I don't even know like what to say or whatever. Not to say that that was your experience, but I didn't have that. I don't know if that answers your
Oh,
question.
interesting. So, like, you were always sort of operating in a way where people wanted to pay you a lot of attention.
A little bit. I hope so. I mean, I like to think so, but maybe I'm self-delusional. Who
That's
knows?
cool. No, I mean, it seems reasonable. I hadn't thought about that.
What? Why? Because I give off fucking loser vibes? What do you mean by that? Yeah, that's
Uh,
exactly what you meant. Okay, no, that's fine. It's all good. I understand.
yeah. Did I deeply wound you?
No, tells me more about you than it does say about
Oh,
me.
I
You know?
see.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
hmm
Just boomerang that back into my face.
hmm
Yeah.
What are you doing for your date tonight?
Going to a restaurant.
What kind of? Can you say what kind? I don't want to like dox your date.
I would, but it's like Austin. Somebody might go to like the four restaurants of that type, and you know.
Okay, so it's some type of. Oh well, okay, I won't fuck with you. For do you split the check on a first date, or do you make the guy pay all of it?
Well, he offered to pay, so normally I split the check though. I like being dominant.
When you said split, that's what a woman answer. I like to be dominant, so I split the check. That was very funny. Nice.
Yeah.
What when you said he offered, how did he offer? You're not even at the restaurant yet. What did that mean?
No, he was like, "Can I take you to dinner? I'll pay for it." And I was like, "Okay,
Wow.
yeah."
Okay.
I don't know. I dated. I've my recent spat of guys that I dated before my current crop
hmm
were people that I took care of financially, and so I'm like interested in having the opposite thing happen.
Okay. Want to do a little bit of gold digging instead of being the gold mine? That's fair. The
That would be nice.
I get very frustrated because a lot of in the red pill spaces, a lot of the conversations I have are about how like women are always seeking resources, and a woman would like no woman would ever support any guy, blah 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 blah. But actually, I know a lot of successful, really attractive women that have been in similar situations to what you're saying, where they are, not to say that you're successful or attractive, be careful, but there are a lot of women that are similarly situated. Yeah, you've had enough social assurance today, that end up taking care of these guys where it's like, and sometimes they're like total loser guys, and it actually breaks the mold so hard. And even I don't understand it sometimes, where I know these women that are like so cool and they look pretty and they everything, and it's like, what, why?
It's probably great sex.
I don't think so. Was that a
You don't think
serious?
so?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
Wow.
it's some high school-esque clingy attraction, some like, I think I can change him kind of like bullshit. I think it's more that.
You think it's that and not great sex?
I don't think it's the
Do
great.
you know like the power that great sex has over a mind? Have you ever had great sex?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think I would
Like,
fuck my I wouldn't fuck my life up for great sex. I don't think. Ooh, we're both doing the battle of the projections. Whose model of other people's minds is more accurate? I don't think anybody would ruin their life for like a partner that had great sex. I think there's a deeper type of like addiction, clinginess thing going on, rather than just like, oh my God, like it's the best pussy / dick ever. That would be my feeling on it.
I wonder if it's like different for women and men. I think I get pretty emotionally attached to people who I have great sex with.
Hmm.
Okay, what is the question? Is the question like why do like women date below their station?
Oh, I wasn't asking that question at all. Well, I had a contention with you saying it felt like you were asserting that some people will ruin their lives and stay in horrible relationships for really good sex. And I don't think so. I think there has to be some
Maybe
more.
it's like a stronger statement than the thing I actually believe. I mean, obviously there's a lot of things in
Mhm.
play, but maybe I'm weighting this power of sex a little bit more than you are.
Oh, maybe. But
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. I feel confused about this because I think like you're like what you're saying makes sense to me. But also, I have this thing where sometimes like I have sex with somebody, it's like my brain changes,
mhm.
and maybe I wouldn't actually. Maybe it's like a rationalization thing. Maybe I have some weight on the theory that like sex just sort of makes you more attached, and then you post rationalize explanations to justify it.
Wow. Maybe it's just a full on woman moment.
I am a woman,
True.
believe it or not. You seem very correct with your gender.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You seem very stable. Every time I've talked to you, you seem like exactly the same person.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm 34. If my identity was ultra in flux, that would be uh, pretty catastrophic, probably, for my sense of
It,
identity.
it doesn't have to be identity. It can be mood or vibes.
Oh. I think that's because all of the circumstances that we're meeting have just been like, this is a casual conversation where we're just kind of like mining each other for interesting things to talk about. But my identity
We're
would
spending
be
time.
significantly different if you like called me to like have an argument. Like I want to debate. I think that your take on media, something is wrong, in which case it would be kind of a fun argument, or like a debate on like a political thing, in which I'd probably be more passionate, and then I would be in fighting mode. But
Yeah, I wish we could debate on something that we both know a lot about.
um, sure. Yeah, I can't think of anything that we would both know a lot about that we would disagree with. I'm not sure.
You know, it's because there's one true truth, and we are both competent enough to have arrived at it.
Um, unironically, a little not exactly that pretentiously, but I would say that like most people that are like decently intelligent, I feel like we're probably going to agree on most things, and so like it's very hard. Like my favorite types of interactions are very combative, but obviously it's hard to have that with people that I get along with really well because we probably agree with most things anyway. So yeah, like
Yeah, so we
like
have to shoot the shit.
yeah, basically. There's times where I bring a lot of like experts on stream to talk about like some of the academic, or from an academic perspective, a lot of things we've been going over on stream. Not to jerk myself off, and it's more just because I try to read their opinions, to figure out what's the right way to think about a thing. But then we end up agreeing the whole time, so it's really boring. So we bring like some expert, subject matter expert on a topic to come on and chat, and it's like, that's really boring. But then I can drag on some retard from Twitter that has a totally different opinion about it, and that conversation is 50 million times more interesting just because there's a lot of disagreement and fighting and back and forth to be had there. So I think that's actually, I think like a big character defect or flaw that I have, and that most of my fun interactions come from like adversarial engagement. So I'll end up bouncing into people that I get along with really well, but we don't disagree on a lot, so we end up just not talking or doing much, and that's like, yeah, that probably selects what really talks to people. So like, for instance, like, do you know who Lav was?
Did you mention her?
Kind
I've
of,
heard the
yeah.
name.
They came as a pair on my stream, Max and Lav. But like, those are two really good examples of people that have completely different viewpoints from me that I fought with a fucking ton, but it was super fun. I loved it. That was so like, I'll have Max or Lav on my stream like every fucking day arguing about shit because we disagree so much and so passionately, and that's like really fun for me. But obviously, selecting for those types of people has other downstream negative impacts on your life, stream, career, health, physical health, depending on how crazy things get. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why fighting is I don't actually like fighting, but there's something in that I appreciate, like something like the tension. Like I
Mm-hmm.
think I just keep getting into fights online because some part of me is interested in it. Maybe that's the same kind of thing that you have.
That there's an interest in it, or
Like I don't know, uh I don't like it when people are mad at me, but there's something exciting about it.
there is.
So what do we do?
Yeah, I don't know.
We can circle.
How do you do that again? You've mentioned this like 2 or 3 times, and I think I've had to ask you every time. It had something to do with meditating or something. The name is very
Yeah.
unintuitive.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we actually should circle. I'm just like saying
Oh,
it. But
oh, okay.
you talk about the present moment and your feelings,
Oh,
and the thing is, it's like it can be boring to watch.
sounds like it'd be pretty slow for the audience. Yeah,
Yeah. But
yeah.
that's what I was doing with MrGirl during our conversation. I think I mentioned that.
We're circling. What did you
Yeah. Well, he started
just
doing something. I just started circling as a response. So
somebody wrote this in chat when you started the conversation off. Apparently, he got really mad, and then now I just remembered seeing it in the emails that you guys leaked of each other. That when you ate, that was like a tactic. Why would you do that to him?
that, that was a tactic.
Yeah, I think you actually eat on stream to throw people off to see their response because it's like traditionally like a rude thing.
Oh, eating.
Yeah, and you're kind of like breaking a norm, and you do that. You engage in like, I'm gonna eat and see how they respond, and then I'm gonna like play with that reaction from there. I think you do that intentionally.
Oh, you're making a claim about my intentions, which is I
Yeah,
think is a little spicy.
yeah.
Uh, no, genuinely, I think I'm not aware enough of social norms to even know that that was supposed to be bad.
Oh, okay. I don't
I
actually.
often run into this accidentally. I often like am accidentally like doing things I think are completely fine, and then people get mad at me because they're like, "Oh, you're doing that deliberately." And I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about."
Gotcha. Okay. I don't actually think that.
Yeah.
I'm curious if I could mind fuck you enough that you'd get really mad, and then that would be really entertaining. But
Oh yeah. I think it's relatively hard to get me mad. You have to be like, what's her face, Megan, in that debate.
I think it's really mind fuck. I think it's really annoying to have somebody tell you your state of mind, especially if you disagree with it. Like if I keep saying like, I think you do this because you're trying to do that. I think you do this because you want to do this, and it's like not congruent with why you're doing it. And I keep saying it over and over again, and then you feel like I feel that, and my position becomes like immovable. I think that that's a really frustrating experience for people.
Yeah, but usually I think this is I think I remember like Mr. Ghost doing this with me, but like there's usually motivation for it, right? Like if somebody really assumes this thing about you,
Hmm.
um, then like what is it about them that makes them want to view that way? Like what about them? What their attachments to the world would be lost if if you were actually different? And so that's an interesting thing to explore.
Yeah, a little bit. Like people understand the world in a certain way, and if you are not aligning with what they're saying you are doing, then it kind of breaks their understanding, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I say that like you're eating just to fuck with me, because it's inconceivable that somebody would just eat food on a stream, so you have to be fucking with me, otherwise my understanding of people is like fundamentally flawed in some way, so that like no matter what you say, you're not going to convince me otherwise, because it would break my whole view of humanity for you to be eating for any other reason than to fuck with me. Does that make sense? Like that?
Yeah, and then you can explore that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can be like do you is the thing that you believe that my eating means that like I don't like you or something, or like you figure out like what the thing is that it indicates,
Hmm.
and then you just explicitly address that. You're like, oh, well, I don't feel that way.
Hmm.
And then if they don't believe you, then you can just be like, oh, I feel sad and hurt that you don't believe me and whatever. You
Sure.
just like are honest. I
Yeah.
really think that you're just like consistently, directly honest and earnest about basic truths that this is really safe. Like you can have any kind of conversation like that.
If people are willing to engage in that type of communication.
Well, if you are, I mean,
Yeah.
even if somebody else isn't, like this is kind of like independent of the other person, at least to some degree.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sometimes I'm having trouble when you say you. I don't know if you're talking about me or if you just mean like you, like a general you.
I think a general you.
Okay,
Sorry, I'm not
gotcha.
talking about you.
Yeah,
You,
okay.
you, you.
Okay. Sometimes I get lost in it. But yeah, I agree. When people are willing to acknowledge basic fundamental things that are true without like playing weird games or anything around them, it feels, and then to have like a safe space to have those conversations is a more productive and better conversation to have than if you feel like there's like a lot of weird mindfucky stuff or games being played or whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I think that this is like true, like very obviously true for like intellectual disagreements, but I think it's like quite true for like personal ones too. Like if you're like, I think that you're doing some sort of manipulation thing, then you just are very simple, very explicit,
Mm-hmm.
and like say the things that like might be obvious but should be said anyway.
Yeah, but then you have to be open to being wrong too, though, right? Like if
Yeah,
you like if you tell
but
someone I think you're being manipulative, but you have to be careful. You're not really saying like I think you're being manipulative, and nothing you say is going to convince me otherwise. That's like probably a bad situation to be in, right?
yeah, that's like one of the circling rules is that you're supposed to like figure out what inside yourself is the thing that's making you say a thing about someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're saying like I want to say I think you're being manipulative, like what is the actual thing underneath it? Like you like maybe that person said something that made you feel like they weren't being fully honest,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're feeling like distrustful, like some part of you just doesn't believe them. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's actually what's going on. Just say, I noticed that I just don't believe you right now. And this is not necessarily an accusation. It's just like my reaction that I'm having to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as you can like frame things in a way that like I own the thing, then
Mm-hmm.
that can be really nice.
Yeah, it's an invitation to discuss rather than like an accusation of something, right?
I think I would maybe when you're in Austin, you should come circling because I'd be just curious to see your analysis on it, like in a group, like watching other people go through this process.
Sure, maybe. I think I'll be there. I think April something is like my next event or March something, but yeah, or maybe sooner. Let's see.
I'm gonna be probably out, gone until like late April, so
Oh well, my bad. In San Francisco,
in Montenegro.
where is that at?
Wow. It's in Europe.
Nice one. Was that the physical comedy you were talking about? I'm just kidding.
A little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Appreciate being noticed.
Nice. Good job. In the Balkans. Wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing out there? Are you allowed to say?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Wow.
A friend is doing a project, so
Wow. Okay. How long are you out there for? Are you allowed to say that?
I don't know, maybe a month or it's like a 2 month thing. Maybe I'll do a little bit or a long time. I'm trying to do the husband finding thing. I'm like, probably curated communities are a good place to do husband hunting.
Do you think you'll find one in Montenegro?
Well, I mean, other people are probably gonna be flying to that country.
Okay. Oh, so it's an event where multiple people are going for the same type of project. Wow.
Yeah.
In a couple months. We
Yeah.
should be able to narrow this down. I'm sure we'll figure it out.
I don't know. I don't think there's any information about it, like outside.
I'm just waiting for you to leak more and more details, but somebody will figure it out. Someone will make a
Yeah,
subreddit
I
post
don't think
tonight
it's a
saying
big,
like,
I don't think it's supposed to be like actually that secret. It's not a big deal.
oh, okay.
Otherwise, I would be much more careful.
Gotcha.
Do you ever go to any like fancy like retreat community style pop-up experiment stuff?
Why is that what you're doing in Montenegro?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Do you go to a lot of them?
Kind of.
What does kind of mean?
What's it to you?
Well, I'm just making conversation. Jeez.
You should make a conversation.
What's your favorite kind of
Dude,
those to go
this
to?
Friday night's gonna get some weird energy off me.
You're gonna. It look that blue bottle makes it look like you're drinking like Gatorade, or is it water, or what is it? It's
It's
just water. Okay.
okay. Sorry, you were saying something and I interrupted because I was trying to be sassy.
Nice. Good job. No, I was just asking like, what is like your favorite type of those events to go to?
Well, okay, so I've been kind of hosting them. Um, it's just like what happens if you take like a bunch of people that you think are going to work well together and you put them in a container for, a week or so. And then usually people can host their own workshops or stuff. I went to one official conference that was trying to do this and I was not super impressed.
Damn.
But I don't know. But I guess I'm interested in experimental community and you seem to be happy online.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of the same fears that you have, and that investments in people are very scary because usually it's really fucking boring. If there was a workshop
Yeah.
like that, I imagine if I had one good experience, I'd probably want to keep going. But I feel like I would go and it would be really boring. But
What
obviously, if
kinds
you're
of
going,
things make you like someone to find them not boring?
I think we talked about this on our first or second talk. It's usually people that have like fleshed out ways of viewing the world, that they're like strong characters in their own right. They have like a very deep gravity well around them, and they seem like they're more than just like a reflection of whatever the current cultural trends are. So this is why I'm drawn to people like Max, right? Is like very much like that. Or like you seem like very interesting. You have like your own way of like viewing the world. Anybody that, even if I disagree with a lot of their opinions, if they have like they're a very strong character and they have like their own like way of viewing the world and their own thought process or whatever, that's usually I can get a lot of, I say get a lot of entertainment out of that. That sounds really mean, but like that's like a very fun thing for me to run. Yeah, a fun energy to share in. Okay.
Yeah. And this is making me start to think of people I know who you might really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
I may have some recommendations later.
I mean, obviously, I'm a very rational person, so I imagine me and that community would just click.
I actually wasn't thinking about that one. There are definitely weirdos that you probably would like in that one too.
Mm-hmm. Somebody keeps spamming in chat. They really want me to ask you what your experience was with Vibe Camp.
Which did this person go to Vibe Camp? Vibe Camp was weird. I liked it. Vibe Camp. Do you know what Vibe Camp is?
I have no idea.
Vibe Camp was like a Twitter, like this part of Twitter group thing, and then they had a camp for people on Twitter, and it was actually really fun.
Wait, did I miss what you said? What it was? Wait, what do you do?
It was a camp. Like I don't know. There's like a community that grew up on Twitter, and it's like kind of centered around like introspection, like people who are adjacent to rationality. And then they threw a camp where a bunch of people came from Twitter and met each other.
What happened? What'd you do?
There were like workshops. I threw
Okay,
a
when you say
descent
workshop, what does workshop mean? What are you workshopping? What's happening?
I did live Twitter polls. So I had a microphone in a big room, and I had people physically go into sections based on votes.
Okay.
Which did not end well because I decided to ask some troll questions. One of which was like sort yourself from like most to least. Like oh no, it was do you support him more or less than the average person in this room? Which is very funny because obviously nobody fucking supports him. Like the point of the thing is that it's a joke.
Okay.
And so you have to like sort of make some sort of social determination, like if you're going to like signal, because there's like benefits to signaling that you like do or don't,
Mm-hmm.
But this caused somebody to start screaming at me and like pound the table that I was speaking at and make a big scene, and it was really unpleasant.
Do you? I feel like, and this might just be a dumb feeling I have. It might not be true at all. But I feel like the rationalist community has got to be a community that like doesn't believe as much in like the weird SJWisms and the canceling and shit. Does that happen often that you get like the tone police? I don't want to make it sound like the tone police are like bad people, but like does it happen often that you run into people like that do things like that?
Oh, that was at Vibe Camp, which is not very rationalist. It's like rationalist adjacent.
Oh,
So there's
rationalist adjacent. My bad.
Yeah, it's
My
adjacent.
bad.
Get your shit in order here.
Okay.
Yeah, so that, but it's also, it was like a little bit bigger and not very filtered. It's like if you're on Twitter, you just buy a ticket and come. So it's just people who, some people are like a little mentally unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
The rationalists are not very cancer culture at all. The rationalists are actually quite good. They're like it's very difficult to handle things like accusations in communities. Like you don't know how to evaluate truth, and you want to like make sure you encourage victims. Like it's very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
And the rationalists are like pretty, not perfect, obviously, but like much better than most other communities I've seen at doing that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Vibe Camp is about this part of Twitter, also called TPOT. Oh, this part of Twitter. Interesting.
Yeah. Hey, you could come to the next one. They're having it at some point.
I'm just imagining like the most, like you're just like sitting around with a bunch of people being like, did you see like that time on Twitter that this happened? Or like, did you see this? And they're like, yeah. I mean, it must be more exciting. I just can't imagine it. Maybe I just have really bad experiences hanging out with people in real life.
Have you ever been to like a festival, like a burn?
No, I've never done a burn. Have you done Burning Man before? Have we talked about this?
I have, yeah.
Have those been fun experiences for you?
Yeah, yes.
How many times have you
But
gone?
the structure of burns is something like you create some event. So like it's participant created. So you
Yeah.
come and you're like, I want to put on this thing or this project. And so that's Vibe Camp is full of like was full of people putting on their own projects, which was really fun. Like I led my creepy ugly dance um class
Okay.
and then the live Twitter polls and stuff.
That guy in chat said Vibe Camp. I don't know who this guy is. He says Vibe Camp is like Burning Man for autists.
I don't know what autism means anymore, but yeah.
Okay. I think it generally just means kind of. I think it just is it's a catch-all for like socially unaware people, basically.
No, it was fine. It was fine.